Good Shepherd Sunday.
Good Shepherd Sunday.
Good Shepherd Sunday?
Good Shepherd Sunday?
Good Shepherd Sunday. Okay. Fourth week of Easter is always what we call Good Shepherd Sunday. Why do we call that? Well, of course, because in the Gospel we're hearing from John chapter 10, where Jesus says, I am the Good Shepherd. Really beautiful prayers this weekend for presidential prayers. So in the collect, it's going to call us the humble flock. The humble flock. And it's going to call Jesus our brave shepherd. So we're the humble flock. Jesus is our brave shepherd. He's going to lead us to the joys of heaven. The prayer after communion, going to use that same language, going to call Jesus our kind shepherd. And we are the sheep, the flock. And we're going to pray that God will be pleased to settle us in eternal pastures. In eternal pastures. So our presidential prayers are painting a pretty clear picture. Jesus, he is our shepherd. He is going to lead us. We are going to follow him. And we're going somewhere specific, to paradise, to eternal pastures.
The second reading for this Sunday is taken from the first letter of St. Peter. In this reading, it really takes from the prophet Isaiah, the 53rd chapter of the prophet Isaiah, which has a kind of a section called the suffering servant. This is Isaiah talking about a suffering servant, one who will suffer on behalf of us. The first letter of Peter, we see the apostle Peter proclaiming to us that Christ is indeed that suffering servant. Peter is encouraging us, and he's encouraging the people he was writing to, who were undergoing persecution, people who weren't being treated well because of their faith, encouraging them to endure just like Christ endured. And we do this because Christ is our good shepherd. The reading for this Sunday ends with Peter explaining to us that we have gone astray like sheep, but our shepherd, we have returned to our shepherd. The whole reading ultimately shows us how Christ leads us, how he is our shepherd, and how we are his sheep, and we follow that leader.
For the gospel of the Good Shepherd, we have to look back to Ezekiel, the prophet. In chapter 34 of Ezekiel, he tells a parable about the shepherds, and he looks around at Israel and he says, Woe to you shepherds! You have been pasturing yourselves. You have been bad shepherds. This is God speaking. So then in response, God says, I myself will come to pasture my sheep. That's a big image for the people, because Ezekiel was a big-time prophet. So Jesus is going to show up on the scene and say, hey, that's me. That's me. I'm going to do that for you.
You said we're going to paradise?
Going to paradise.
Does paradise look like this?